Ladies and gentlemen of the carp fishing world, good evening. My name is Ken. And some of you know me, some of you don't. And I am just kind of giving an update, what I've done the last week and a half or so carping. Literally tonight, my roommate is on vacation, so I'm using the garage. I took everything out of my car, vacuumed to the back because it was just full of grass from having my net in the grass on the ponds. It smelled so much like grass carp. I'm actually going to spray my lavender spray in the car tonight and let it sit. I'm like, good God. Just grass carp stink, man. They are fun to fish for, but fuck, they stink. Anyway, so what I was essentially doing was either a size 1 or size 1/0 circle hook owner. I use owner on anything size 1 and below, and on size 1/0 through 2/0 for circle hooks, I use the Gamakatsu Octopus. When it gets to outside of bait fishing stuff, I use different owner brand stuff, but I'm talking carp. So what I was essentially doing was just taking the center piece of white bread in 4 sections, folding it over the hook a couple times and flattening it out. Throw it out as far as I can because I'm using 20-pound braid to 15-pound fluoro, but I can still get a good whip out of it. And let it sit, and it would just start doing this. So grass carp, when they're moving around, if they get a target opportunity, they'll take it. They do. So lo and behold, I got a couple target opportunities, but then I kind of faded out. So I ended up doing the ball technique, which is where I take the same amount, ball it up on there, put it in water, ball it a little more just to get it a little bit tighter. It still starts to sponge out after a while. White bread is very absorbent, by the way, much more absorbent than other breads. And it's the cheapest one. It's great value Walmart. So I throw it out there, let it sit on the bottom. Well, the grass carp in the pond that I go to, it's in a channel and it's very shallow. It's only about 5 foot max, and you can usually see close to the bottom. So you'll see them milling around. Definitely a pond that I will go to when I start fly fishing for carp, because I can see them and they come up to the surface and grab shit fairly routinely. So perfect opportunity for that. That's not going to be till next year. I've determined that I got to wait. I got all sorts of stuff in life going on. I got to put it on the back burner. I got shit that I really don't want to deal with, but I have to. It's sad to say that I have to, but lo and behold, here's my life. I try to be as simple and easy as possible, and people have to fuck it up. And people are dishonest, and people are assholes. Honestly, I'm so sick of humans in general. I really truly fucking am. I would love to just get all my positions away and just fucking put a fucking bearskin on and go in the forest and say fuck everybody. I really would. And that's nothing against any of you guys. I'm just really sick of society now. I really truly am, and the people that are in it for a large extent. And I've got to deal with stuff. So the carp fly fishing, it's going to wait. Me going and picking up my 3-piece custom is going to wait. I know he's done with it, but I've got other stuff to handle. But it was pretty successful. I got a couple channels. I got one that was damn near 9 pounds. I got some pretty super tanker grassers in fairly short order. I was only there for a little over an hour, and I got 6 fish. So I got 2 channels, and the rest were grassers. I got other hits, but I missed them because they were finagling the bread off the hook, because it starts getting mushy and they can suction it off without getting the hook a lot of times. Then I got yelled at by a Karen. That's always fun. Who told me I was hurting the fish and destroying its psyche. Jesus Christ. There's always someone somewhere, right? Yeah, just like, good God, I couldn't believe she even had the nerve to say that. I told her she lacked massive amounts of intelligence, because you can see how gently I'm holding this fish while I'm handling getting the hook out of its face. She didn't get it. But it was great. And that's what I really wanted to come to the core of, to talk about the, you know what, this is getting hot. This house is not, it's got central heat, but my roommate keeps it off during the winter, and we just use the heat in our rooms. We got small heaters. Excuse me for a second. Yeah, I'm literally sweating in this thing right now. That's how warm it gets. And I cooked in it too, so go figure. Ah, yeah, there we go. Oh, that's better. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the grit stick. It's from Ozark Trail. It's very inexpensive. Long story short, the reason that I chose to get it was there was a yellow tag that was advertised on Walmart for the location nearest to my job. I went there. They couldn't find it. After an hour of waiting for somebody to come and pushing the button 6 damn times, I said, fuck it, I'm taking matters to my own hands. I'm looking through the shelves for this. I scoured the entire Ozark Trail section of the rods, could not find it. I turn around, and in the floor holder for the rods is the blank, but it's only the bottom half, the handle half. The other half is gone. So finally somebody comes. I said, listen, this is yellow tagged at $9.98. It's half of what it normally is. I want this rod, but there's a half missing. Yeah, sometimes they get stolen. And I'm like, wait a minute, you've got 400 plus cameras in this facility. How the hell do you let a half of a rod get stolen? Oh, you'd be surprised. No, actually, you saying that makes it, I'm just not surprised at all. So I said, all right, well, where's the manager at? And he goes, well, he's at customer service. I go, okay, well, I'm going to customer service. You have yourself a nice day. So, and other stuff happened in between there. I actually had called Big Five while he was standing there. This is before I went to customer service. Got on the phone with somebody at Big Five. Got told, as I came to the conclusion that this person didn't know what the fuck I was talking about, by his own admission, we have fishing stuff, but we're not really fishing experts. Well, no shit, Sherlock. I already knew this. I was just asking you if you had this rod. And apparently you don't carry Ozark Trail. Although I've bought 5 pairs of pliers from Ozark Trail in your stores. Go figure, they claim they don't sell Ozark Trail. They're lying. So I get to customer service. I tell the manager, hey, this is all tagged at $9.98. You have a half missing. Apparently, according to the person that was back there, things get stolen all the time. I don't get it. But whatever. I want this rod. And I want it at this price. And because you cannot fulfill my order, I'm pretty sure your corporate has rules to where you have to honor it somewhere else. He goes, you're absolutely right. So here's what I'm going to do. Here's my name. Here's the number of the store. Here's the number to the store. Go to the one closest to where you live. Talk to the general manager there. They're probably going to be a customer service. Tell them that I said, and they can call to verify, hence the information that's on the paper, and that you want the same deal. And you've been told you will. So I did that. I went to the store closest to mine. And after talking for a couple minutes with the manager, he says, I'm not going to honor that. And they go, well, why not? You have another general manager of a store saying this, and you can verify it by calling, and you're a corporate entity. I would expect you to uphold what another general manager at another store says. That's like, I don't care. I don't have to. I'm like, you know, I'm 52 years old, and I'm tired of fighting shit. Said, so you know what? Fuck it. I paid the $22 for it. With tax, it was $22. So let's get into the rod, shall we? Excuse me for a second. Hands get rough after fishing. I have really porous skin, and they dry out really bad in the wintertime. Which is kind of funny because during the summertime, you think they dry out a lot more, and they don't. So the grit stick is a injection molded blank. It is not a rotary rolled mandrel made blank. It is a injection molded. It is the most dirt cheap way that they can manufacture a rod. Happens all over the world. Ozark Trail, I don't know who makes them. I know damn well they're overseas, though. This rod, though, is a beast. Good God, is it a strong rod for a $22 rod. The eyelets are great. I think the blank is the cheapest thing of the build of this rod because the eyelets and the reel seat are actually pretty good material, and the EVA of the back handle is actually really comfortable. It's not too heavy, but you know it's there. The balance of it is pretty good with a big reel on it. As long as you're holding the reel, it's not going to balance like in some ultralight bass rig, obviously. There we go again with my hands. But it balances pretty good for a beefy rod. Now, I've had the Ugly Stick White Catfish Heavy 8-foot 2-piece, and I've had the GX2 Ugly Stick as well. They're also really good rods, but they're more expensive. This grit stick has handled every grasser that's hit it. It's handled the commons that have hit it. It's a kick-ass rod for the money. In fact, if somebody was going to start out as a carp angler and got the grit stick in the heavy action 2-piece and an Avenger, an Akuma Avenger, even a 3,000-4,000 size, if you can get them bigger, great, with the bait feeder function, they would be doing phenomenal off the start because that rod handles everything. I mean, good God, I got a 3.5-foot freaking grass carp out of my local pond, and I've actually gotten bigger than that, by the way. They get massive, man. They're stupid huge. Now, some of them give up, but most of them do not. And when they see the net, they get even more aggravated and irate. So it handled it all. So if I was going to recommend to a new carp angler, I would say that rod with an Akuma Avenger in a large size would be phenomenal. Or any bait feeder you would choose in a bargain type environment. I would not get a Cast King product to save my life. I've had a couple of them. I will never buy them again, spinning reel-wise. Piscifuns, however, are actually pretty good. The Carbon X from, I don't remember this Piscifun, or I think it's Piscifun. I had it in a 2500, and I had 10-pound braid, 6-pound fluoro on it. Was using it for multiple different things on a medium heavy rod, and it was a beast. I just really didn't like how heavy it was, so I gave it away. But yeah, that rod, the Ozark Trail Grit Stick, 8-foot heavy 2-piece. You put your line on your reel, you put your reel on, you're good to go. You're going to handle pretty much anything you get, unless you get like a 40-pound flathead, because obviously it's going to break all but the best rods. So that's what my recommendation would be. If you're going out for a quick hit and you know that's all you're doing, you're not going to be setting up your double pod and your bite alarms and all that, I would say just go to the Dobson Library Lake. Everybody knows that pond, and there's some pretty good carp in there. You're not doing bad if you go in there, right? A lot of times if I go to that particular pond, I'll go in the concrete pad area or to the left of it, in between the concrete and the first tree. I have found that even casting 30 feet out, I'll get action. And there's a ton of carp in that pond. You are not going to wear them out. So I have no reservations about talking about it, because I grew up in Dobson Ranch, and that pond has always been the best one. Don't know what's different about it. I know that Game and Fish does some stocking in that pond because it faces public access way. It's not the neighborhood ones. But the one that I go to is a smaller one, and it's because of the fact that I get the grass carp in the size that I do. And it's because they have no competition, really. They don't have tilapia in there. There's not a lot of catfish in there, although the ones that are in there are pretty fucking huge. And I did pretty good today. I've been doing that bread, the 2 different types of bread things for the last 2 weeks now. Just because I've had stuff I've gotten done after work, and then I've had nothing to do. And I don't always want to come home right away. So it's just, I just don't want to be home right away. And I've been annihilated, just annihilating them. And today I got 6 grassers and 2 channels. One of the channels was almost 9 pounds. They have a great diet in there. I don't know what their particular forage is. I know it's not fish, because the bass that are in there, they're big enough that they won't eat them. and I see no bait fish of any kind in there, and I've not seen any bluegill for 4 years in that particular pond. So the carp, common and grassers have taken over that pond mostly. But they're very segregated. So like there's a culvert in one corner where a lot of commons will hang out and a lot of goldfish. Go around and start going to the narrows. That's where the grassers will hide out. You get further around and it fans out again. It's only like 7 foot deep at the deepest in that area. A lot of commons hang out there. Well, if I want to go for the long term sitting there and waiting for it to happen like the commons, then I'll go to those more open spots or the culvert. But I'm going for the quick hitters, which is the grassers, because they tend to hit quick. But yeah, the library pond is one of those deals where I've gotten some grassers out of there, not a lot. I've gotten mostly commons. I'm not sure why, because the water is flowed between the ponds. They regularly change the water level, and that lets fish come in and out of the ponds. They choose to sit in a certain one. I'm not sure why. Out of the 8 ponds, there's 2 that are completely dead. I don't know why they even chemically treat them anymore. But yeah, I just figured, I would give my perspective on the grit stick. It's a phenomenal rod for being a cheap-ass rod. Kuma Avenger's a golden standard. I was using the Cabela's, excuse me, yeah, the Cabela's King Cat in the size 70, which is essentially like an 8,000 size, 10,000 size range reel. And it was so ungodly heavy on that ugly stick, that white ugly stick, that I couldn't use it. It would throw my shoulders out after a while. So I have to use a lighter type of rig. So the 6,000 size Sonic Vader that I have, the bait feeder kind, on that grit stick, it's a little heavier a rig, but it's perfectly balanced for having such a heavy reel. When I get my custom 3-piece back, that Sonic will go on that, and I'm probably going to buy an Avenger, hopefully in a 4,000 or 5,000 size, for that grit stick, because I'm not going to get rid of the grit stick. It's a fucking badass rod for $22. So if I was going to go a brand new person, it would be the grit stick 8 foot heavy 2-piece with an Akuma Avenger, if possible above a 4,000 size. And that's why I wanted to do the video.